This video is being recorded several weeks after the course was live, and I had more time to speak to you, students, to re-evaluate my work, and I decided that there's a video missing, definitely. Initially, I thought that I won't be doing any general advice on the development process altogether, as it's very unique to various companies, and I thought that if I share my experience, that it won't really make a difference because it will be different for you guys. But upon reviewing it, I decided that I'll give you some general advice anyway, and hope that this will be useful and will help to glue together all the sections that we had in the development chapter of the course. Let's begin by saying that you and your team own that development process, and you should own it very responsibly and not be influenced by external parties. That means that if you see anything you can correct, improve, just do it and make it an experiment if you need. But it's all about efficiency, and it's all about making it comfortable and effective for everyone. For some teams, more frequent check-in meetings will be needed. Others can work in their separate silos. I mean, developers, designers, back-end engineers, whatever. And some teams will require even big daily catch-up meetings. But it's all up to that individual level. However, let's take all that pieces of the development process and figure out where to begin. Obviously, if you are starting with a big undertaking, a new feature, a new product, or a significant change in it, you should start with an Inception meeting. And that meeting should take place 2 or even 3 months before you actually take anything to the coding stage. So you have a lot of time to prepare, discuss, and make sure that everything is tightened up and ready to be delivered to the users. That Inception meeting should have a huge audience. And by that I mean every developer, every designer that you work with, every QA engineer, every business analyst. I mean that the wider the audience, the better for you to make sure that you can deliver the message, to make sure that everyone is on the same page, and you will be able to prevent some misunderstanding and perhaps conflicts in the team in the near future. You should come to this meeting well prepared, have a stellar idea on what you want to achieve, what is the value, get all the research that you have collected and present it to the team, and well, start working on it. And what does it mean to start work? If everyone in the room understands on what needs to happen and why, and believes it makes sense, you can start planning the milestones that need to happen in order for you to start the development work, and by development I mean coding work, in the time you intend. So this means that you need to agree when a database will be ready, when an API needs to be delivered, when several iterations of the UX will be presented to the team for consultation, etc., etc. So you have a plan of delivery from the day of the meeting to when the first iteration goes live. I mean, it's not a waterfall process, okay? It's something, an outline that gives you an idea on what needs to happen when, in order to be on the schedule. And a lot of things can happen in the meantime, but it's not what you should be concerned about too much on the Inception meeting. Of course, on this meeting it's good to consider the risks and potential events that can fail and postpone the development, but that's something that needs to be calculated in the plan, that if there are any known blockades or problems, that they need to be resolved by specific date all the day when the coding begins should be postponed. In this meeting, make sure to agree the to-dos and the responsible parties, and make sure that you don't take anything that's project management related on yourself, unless it's about managing specific stakeholders and getting people outside the team to help you out. And also, while I say this, don't be afraid to invite stakeholders to that meeting as well, or product managers from other teams, so they understand what you're doing, and if you need their help, they will have 100% clarity on why that help is necessary. When you agree the plan and the milestones, put dedicated meetings in the calendar that correspond to different milestones. So if you agree that the first proposal for the UX will be ready within 1 or 2 weeks, then put a dedicated meeting for it. But for the following meetings, you should limit the audience, so it's only the people who need to be there. So if you're reviewing a design, only a senior developer and maybe one other should be there to evaluate whether it complicates the coding side of it or not, whether there needs to be a compromise in order to reach the agreed timeline, this kind of stuff. But if you will call the whole team for every little meeting, for every little checkup, then less actual work will be done, and there will be much more chaos, because that's the nature of the meetings where there are many people. Finally, as we said already in this chapter, make sure to maintain a project doc so everything is reviewed, and as per class about meetings, make sure that the meeting notes are also being written down by someone. And as always, keep common sense. You don't need this complicated structure for every single small task. Sometimes a single meeting will be enough to ensure that a small change is implemented, and that's perfectly fine. And you don't want to overdo it with the preparation. This is the scenario where you have a big piece of work ahead of you, and a lot of planning needs to take place in order to be successful. However, as per the value class, you want to have the maximum value for the minimum effort. Sometimes this minimum effort will be a 3 months endeavor. Sometimes it's a half-an-hour meeting that will just get things done. And that's what you should be focusing on: efficiency. So again, this was a supplementary video to the Great Product Manager course. If you want to know more and learn more, please write down a comment in the description, and I'll make sure that you have the lowest possible price access. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the video next week.